I've been thinking a lot about the events of this past week in Minneapolis and the death of this young black man, and it's just such a tragedy, and it's very emblematic of the disunity in our country and division and how that gets played out. And I won't go into all the details of that, and maybe even my thoughts on all that, the ins and outs of all that. But I do want to lay out for you three things that I went into a lot more detail about in regard to just the steps forward and an appropriate response as people, as we are in the middle of issues of disunity and division. And I want to commend them to you, and they come out of the book of Romans in the Bible, and I want you to think through what you read there and spend some more time. But the three things I want to bring out to you is, as the Bible talks about the fact that we are made in the image of God, that puts us all on the same playing field. You know, we are all in this together. We are all made in God's image. We are all His creation. That should, in and of itself, give you direction as to how you deal with disunity or division and other people and relationships in your life. But number two, it's obvious that we live in a broken world. There's brokenness all around us, and the events of this past week clearly show that. The things aren't as they're supposed to be. There's brokenness in the world, and that brokenness is most acute and most obvious in us as individuals. And I want to think as you think about steps forward, you have to think about this individually first as you step forward, knowing that you and everybody else around you is created by God and in His image. But there's brokenness in the world. The third thing is of utmost importance. It's of eternal importance to think about steps in life, steps into eternity. It's what Jesus Christ has done to deal with the brokenness that is around us. Not just the general injustices of life that are all around us and things like this in Minneapolis, but most specifically dealing with our own brokenness and what He has done in dying on the cross for us. That is a monumental event that has implications for all of us. The book of Romans kind of walks through a lot of these pieces, and it ends the book very much with practical applications. You've got to think theologically as you read through the book. Put your thinking cap on. Do the due diligence of work of thinking through what you've just read. But then God is very kind in letting the author of the book give you practical steps. Sapphire, really? Giving you practical steps as you move forward with the injustices around you, knowing that there's injustice in you and there's brokenness in you. Have a good rest of the day. Take care. I love y'all.